is Sky Sports.
Welcome to the program. It's good to have you along. It's crunch time in the East as tonight Shaquille O'Neal goes up against Michael Jordan in a huge Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Semifinals. We kick off the show with a quick look back at the series so far and the impact of one of the best players ever in the NBA. Former number 23, then 45, now back to 23, Mr. Michael Jordan. Then it's straight over to Orlando Arena in Florida for all the exciting action from crucial Game 5. The Magic and the Bulls are all even at 2 games apiece in the best-of-7 series, and tonight's winner will be just 1 game away from a place in the conference finals. So, welcome to the show. Joining me once again in the chair is Martin Hinland, and I'll be extracting some words of wisdom from Martin in a few minutes. But first, some background on our big Game 5 between the Magic and the Bulls. During the regular season, Orlando won 3 out of the 4 games and spoiled Michael's first home game back as a Bull in his debut at the United Center. Ironically, it was former Bull Horace Grant who sealed the 106-99 victory for the Magic at the free throw line. Although both teams came through the first round losing just 1 game each, both series were tough. The Celtics and the Hornets putting up a valiant fight. Now on to the semis. And so far, they have lived up to their billings as a tough match. Orlando took the first, 94-91. The Bulls took the next in Orlando. It was back at the United Center for Game 3. Orlando took back home court advantage with a 110-101 victory. And in Game 4, Chicago pulled out a must victory after the Magic had 22 turnovers and Shaq took only 10 shots all night. Now, since his celebrated return electrified the game just a few months ago, Michael Jordan has kept Chicago in the hunt for yet another NBA title. As the stakes get higher in each round of the playoffs, so too does the value of his performance to the Bulls. Michael Jordan kicked off the 1995 postseason, playing the role of Charlotte Hornets coach Alan Bristol's worst nightmare. The Hornets, who enjoyed their best regular season ever, just couldn't stop him. 10 overtime points in Game 1 of the Bulls' 108-100 victory set the tone for the series. Game 4 turned out to be the heartbreaker for the Hornets with the help of Jordan's 24 points and heads-up defense as the game clock expired. Charlotte could barely hide their disappointment. But for Jordan and the Bulls, the Orlando Magic waiting in the wings in their big semifinal matchup provided a rude awakening. As the game clock wound down, the Magic literally stole Game 1 from under their noses for a 94-91 victory. Jordan's response astonished the crowd as much as his opponents, wearing his old retired number 23 to catch some of his old magic. Despite the $25,000 fine, it did the trick as Jordan scored 38 points, draining some of the most difficult jump shots of his career. The victory tied the series and snatched home court advantage from Orlando. Apart from his fellow superstar Shaquille O'Neal, the Magic have a big weapon in former Bull Horace Grant. It's no secret he would love to eliminate his old team, and he came one step closer in Game 4, leading the Magic in scoring with 21 points and 13 rebounds. He could be the missing link to Orlando's first ever final appearance. With the series even at 2 games each, both the Magic and the Bulls will have to dig deep in the crucial Game 5. Now, let's take a look to see how much of a difference our big superstars have made to their respective teams in the postseason. Michael Jordan is averaging 31, 6.5 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 48% from the field. Shaq averages down 24 points, rebounds are up 12, assists are up 12, field goal percentage is down, and the free throw shooting is definitely up 65%. No more hack a Shaq. And a big guy, former Chicago Bull Horace Grant, is going up against his teammates now and is doing extremely well, averaging 20 points and 12 rebounds, shooting 68% from the field. Martin Henley, when we look at those statistics, we look at Shaq's numbers are down, but Horace Grant's numbers have improved, shooting 68% from the field. Is Orlando playing enough power basketball?
Well, they're tied at 2, so they're obviously not getting enough power basketball in. If they were doing the things they needed to do, they'd have taken care of this in 4 games. Horace Grant's numbers obviously need to be higher against Chicago, where he's matching up against a Tony Kukoc who really can't guard him.
All right, Phil Jackson said after Game 4, the score was 34-20 in the first quarter. Michael Jordan goes scoreless. Phil Jackson said the key to that game was that Michael made a conscientious effort to get his teammates involved. How important is that in this series?
Well, that's got to be critical. That it's shown that the series is there for the Bulls to win if they play to that formula. Because if Michael starts scoring an awful lot of points, you read Bill Wennington saying the same thing, all the centers, Wennington, Longley, Perdue, saying that they sit and they watch. They're in awe. It's like watching a maestro at work. And if Michael scores 30 points in the first half, they're waiting to see him do it again in the second half.
And in this series so far, Michael has shot twice as many field goals as Scottie Pippen has put up. So there's not a lot of ball. It's Michael out there against the other team, and I don't really think that's good basketball. We go back to Shaquille O'Neal. Last game, Shaquille almost got a triple-double, 17 points, double-figure rebounds, 9 assists. Is that good basketball coming from Shaq?
It's good basketball coming from Shaq, but you've got to look at the result of the game. Shaq needs to be taking a lot of shots because he's shooting almost 60% from the field anyway, and also he's drawing a lot of fouls. So, and he's shooting decent free throw percentage, but even if he's missing free throws, they're putting Chicago into the bonus, so which means that Orlando gets to shoot every time they foul quickly.
Okay, in that game, he only shot 10 field goal attempts in the last game out. If I'm Brian Hill, I don't want that from Shaq. I don't need Shaq coming up with 10 assists, especially with the assists, our jump shot assists. They're not power assists because Horace Grant is up at the free throw line shooting shots. In this series, what do you think is going to be the key statistic in today's game that we need to watch out for?
Well, there's been a lot of focus on the last couple of games on the turnovers of Orlando. But I think if you read a little deeper into that, it's the steals that Chicago are getting because they're having, Orlando had 22 turnovers, which was 9 higher than Game 3, but Chicago also had 11 steals, which steals are for layups. And layups are easy baskets, and Chicago easy baskets, they're going to win the series.
A lot of people have said this has been a series of attrition where neither team is playing extremely well. But before we go over to the Orlando Arena, here's a quick check of the starting fives. And at 5 for the Orlando Magic, Hardaway and Anderson are the guards. Shaq is the center. Dennis Scott makes his second start at the small forward. Horace Grant is the power forward. And for the Chicago Bulls, BJ and Michael are the guards. Luke Longley is in the middle. Kukoc and Pippen are the forwards. We're ready to play ball. Bob Neal and the new Detroit Pistons coach Doug Collins are standing by for the tip-off in Orlando.
You see our officials, Eddie T. Rush, Dan Crawford, and Bob Delaney. The tip goes to Anthony Hardaway, whose numbers have been down in the playoffs from the regular season.
I really believe he has to be aggressive tonight, looking to score.
Well, we've seen this before, the double team, the pass out, and now Pippen steps up into the face of Nick Anderson. We have a foul away from the ball. Luke Longley picks up one that quickly, holding on to Shaquille O'Neal.
We'll have to watch just the little subtle adjustments that's gone on in this series, Bob. The one thing about screen roll is Chicago is not pushing it baseline now. They're pushing it to the middle and plugging like they did on Sunday. See if the Magic makes some adjustments.
Shaquille O'Neal missed the layup. Jordan took it right out of his hands from the weak side. Michael's pull-up. Long Horace Grant rebound.
Question is, why did Shaquille not dunk that ball? It looked like he had the inside position.
So he's touched it twice already. 1 foul and 1 turnover. Now Horace Grant spots the lane open. He misses the lay-in.
Well, you can see both teams real tight to start this game.
Pippen inside to Tony Kukoc. A beautiful pass from Scottie Pippen from outside the arc. And Kukoc, if he gets started early, Doug, we beat it a lot. It could be very dangerous. Anthony Hardaway takes his own shot in, keeps it alive, and the Magic start all over again. Longley punches it away. Bulls have the numbers, 4 on 3. B.J. Armstrong, 4-0 Chicago.
Now, what do we talk about? Transition points, points off turnovers. The Bulls have 2 baskets, both of them layups.
Nick Anderson playing with the flu or a touch of a cold. He is not feeling well. Another near turnover.
Chicago is swarming right now on defense. Great drive by Anderson, and the ball spins out.
4-0 Chicago.
It's another opportunity for an inside score from Kukoc.
Back in, the rejection to Michael Jordan, the miss, and now Orlando running. Hardaway. Orlando can't get it to fall. They are 0 for 6 in the first 2 minutes of this decisive Game 5.
And you can see what happened, Bob. Phil Jackson said that slow it down. We do not want to get into an up-and-down game with this Magic team, especially on their home floor.
Now, there's one of those hustle plays you talk about, Doug. Longley punching the rebound out, giving the Bulls another shot.
Those are all things that add up, and it makes you use clock. Gives you 40 seconds on this possession. See if Longley can make the shot, which he does.
6-0 Chicago. Orlando 0 for 6 from the floor in the first 2.5 minutes. The double team on Hardaway. 10 seconds to shoot.
Chicago very active right now on defense. Anthony Hardaway's missed his first 3 shots now.
The foul on Longley, that'll be 2.
Yeah, I think the one thing, you already see the body language on Anthony Hardaway. He's got his head down, he's sort of shaking his head. You've got to keep playing. In a game like this, you're going to get opportunities. And for Anthony Hardaway, he's the leader of this team. And he's got to continue to take those good shots. But you can just see, Bob, to start this game, Orlando is tight. They realize if they lose this game, they've got to go to Chicago and win. I think Chicago feels if we don't get tonight, we'll give it our best shot. We'll get Game 6, and we'll come back here on Sunday. So I think the Bulls are a little more relaxed as they start this ball game tonight.
I think another mistake made by Orlando was playing Archie Bell and the Drells right before the game.
Yeah, that song Tighten Up. I hope the Magic weren't listening to that.
We noted that. We cover all aspects of the playoffs for you here on TNT. 6-2 Chicago.
That's why they get us here early.
And Longley driving, missing the layup inside. The big men have been missing down low for both teams. Dennis Scott. Shaquille with the rebound. Jordan follows. Got a loose ball foul on Orlando's Horace Grant. And Orlando, Doug, is 0 for 9. They have not hit a shot yet.
You know what I've noticed about Shaquille is he's in a hurry. I think it's because of all the double and triple teams and because he's avoiding fouls. He's in a hurry to take quick shots. I think he needs to just slow himself down and take those same shots he took in the regular season, the little jump hooks, the little jump shots.
Tippin with a penetration into Longley, and it's 8-2 Chicago.
Well, if the Bulls win this game, you might credit Chip Schaefer, the trainer, because Longley's gotten off to a good start here.
With a bad ankle. Horace Grant from 21 feet. Horace will knock that shot down. He's been doing it throughout the playoffs, averaging 13 points in the regular season, nearly 20, and shooting 68% in the playoffs.
The Bulls are banking on the fact that he will start shooting poorly. B.J. Armstrong involved here early. He's got a layup and a bank shot, so he has 4. Longley has 4. So 8 of the 10 points by what you'd call the peripheral or role players of the Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan, Pippen not in the books.
And most people feel that's a good sign. Anderson wide open for 3. Shaquille with the rebound. First basket of the ball game for Shaquille O'Neal. 10-6 Chicago.
You know, one of the things you'd have to say through all this poor shooting, the Magic are only down 4 points. I think that's a very positive sign for them right now.
Tony Kukoc handling, trying to get Horace Grant away from the basket so he can do this, and that's drive and dish. Jordan hits the jumper uncontested. That's Jordan's first basket. The assist goes to Tony Kukoc.
See a little reversal of roles there. Tony Kukoc, the one creating that time for Michael Jordan. The Magic running away from the ball. Horace Grant almost gets the 5-second count.
Seven seconds just to get it across the timeline. Shot clock down to 10 as Orlando gets into their half-court offense.
Now they're trying to make Michael play defense on both, or excuse me, make him play both ends of the floor. They got to get the shot up here.
3 seconds. Big three-pointer from Dennis Scott. Jordan leaks out of the other end, and Scott fouls him.
See, no one covers back, though. They beat the shot clock with a big 3, and then no one covers back. Michael Jordan just released down the floor. That's where someone has got to be able to rotate back and not give up now an easy 2 points on the other end.
Welcome back to the show. A pretty slow start for the Magic at home against the Bulls. They trail by 5 after Michael sank both free throws. Shaq is on the bench early.
Craig, while we're watching this play, what is the story on Shaquille?
He got poked in the right eye. He's putting some saline drops in right now, and he'll go back in. It has nothing to do with the flu. He just got poked in that previous trip down the floor.
All right, thank you. Penny Hardaway 0 for 5 from the floor. Bulls up 14-9. 8 to shoot. Kukoc, triple team, open man, Pippen with 4 to shoot. To Jordan with 2. Not even close. Kukoc keeps it alive for B.J. Armstrong.
Another loose ball, though.
Dennis Scott is going to try the 3. Rebound, Pippen.
See, that's where guys fall in love with that three-point line. He could have took the ball to the basket, and he pulled back.
Oh, look at Tony Kukoc. Hard to the hole with the left hand.
All right, the difference is Dennis Scott pulls back and shoots a 3, which is a 33% shot. Kukoc drives in and dunks it. Again, those are all plays you fall in love with running to that three-point line.
Yeah, a dunk is usually right near 100%.
Yeah, I like that percentage a lot better. Boy, Anthony Hardaway has got to get himself maybe an easy score here. Horace Grant is just lighting it up, making every open shot.
6 points for Grant. He's keeping Orlando in the game. Once again, a defensive lapse. And B.J. Armstrong's down low. They have to foul him to stop it.
Number 1, Penny Hardaway.
Transition defense. If the Magic have had a problem all year, it's been with their transition defense. And you see Tony with a little hesitation and right to the front of the rim against Tree Rollins, who's one of the all-time NBA shot blockers. But Tree has been bothered with back spasms, and in fact, he did not play in Chicago in the 2 games. They went with Anthony Avent, who actually played pretty well.
And who I talked to before the game, he's one of the 3 who've been bothered by the bug. And Anthony Avent said he frankly felt sick tonight.
Well, you know what? That's one of these nights when you say, I don't feel well, but I just got to forget about that right now. I've got to find a way to summon up enough energy to give my team something. I can't take the night off. And B.J. Armstrong, with a great start, has 6 points.
Transition points, Chicago 10-0 over Orlando. It is a 7-point Bulls lead. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter of the decisive 5th game. Hardaway looking for his first hoop and finding it on the penetration. Anthony Hardaway 1 for 6 now, and it's a 5-point Bulls lead.
That was a nice aggressive move, though. No hesitation at all. Very positive sign for the Magic.
Michael Jordan with only 2 points so far. Draws Rollins away. Somebody should be open underneath. Pippen will try it. Oh! He was intimidated by Tree Rollins, and who wouldn't be? Out to Armstrong on the penetration. He travels. Turnover, Chicago. And Shaquille is back in the game.
I think the Magic are very fortunate right now to be down only 5. The Bulls have beaten them on the hustle points. They've gotten second shots. They have 10 points off transition. And the Magic, through all this struggle, are hanging around. That's what they've done the entire series.
Kukoc runs at Grant, who makes the pass to Dennis Scott. O'Neal.
He's going so quick. He
has it blocked by Longley.
Notice how quick he went up with that shot instead of powering it and dunking it.
Jordan hard to the basket. The left-handed jam from Jordan. Oh, baby. 20-13 Chicago. Now Scott back hard. Shaquille fouled by Longley.
Foul number 13.
Make your point about Shaquille again.
His third 13 foul.
All right, now watch Shaquille with this offensive rebound, Bob. Instead of gathering himself, watch this. See how quickly he goes up with it? There's not a man in the world that can defend him under there if he just goes up with power. And then on the other end, Michael says, no finger rolls for me. I'm going right to the front of the rim and dunk this ball. And that's what you have to do. You cannot be laying the ball at the front of the rim. And I think a lot of it is Shaquille has been so fouled throughout this entire playoffs, he's trying to avoid getting fouled. And you just got to go right to the front of the rim and go strong.
There you go, the fast break points we told you about a moment ago. Here's another interesting thing as you watch Shaquille battle from the line. His free throw shooting, by the way, is darn good in this series. He's up to 71%. He has 8 offensive rebounds. Only 2 points to show for it, but just underlining your point. Orlando gets the turnover. Down by 7.
On screen roll with Scott and Hardaway, they'll switch this so Dennis Scott can back down. They'll have to double him.
Judd Bushler in for Chicago, along with Will Perdue. Hardaway penetrating. 5 to shoot. Scott gets the 3. Dennis Scott, he's got 6. Dennis Scott is 2 for 7. He has attempted 7 shots in the first 8.5 minutes.
I still believe, though, that he is going to be a real key for them shooting the basketball. He's got to keep taking the shot if it's there.
Jordan isolated on Anderson. Pull-up jumper. Rebound, Will Perdue.
Another offensive rebound. Second shots, will they make them pay for it? Here's another shot.
Will Perdue with 2 offensive boards in 10 seconds.
Shaq has not respected Will's ability to get on the offensive board this entire series. He must put his body on him. Now it's a foul on Hardaway.
Timeout, Chicago.
Timeout,
Chicago. Timeout.
We'll be back to the arena in just a moment. 2:56 to go in the first quarter.
Fans, thanks to our friends from
Chicago leading in pivotal game 5. Let's give you a quick recap of this series. It's been something. The first one, the steal. Nick Anderson from Jordan. Horace Grant jams it. Magic wins it 94-91. Game 2, Jordan shocks the basketball world by coming out with 23. Scottie Pippen plays great. Jordan has 38. Bulls win. Game 3, Horace Grant back to sweet home Chicago. Oh, how sweet it was. 14 rebounds for Horace. Then the Bulls were balanced in game number 4. You see the passing and the shooting from Tony Kukoc, and the series tied at 2 games apiece here with 7 on the shot clock. Bulls up by 4. Jordan fouled on the drive.
Michael is getting to the outside, and the help is coming from the inside. They want to push him back to the middle of the floor. When Michael gets to the outside, it's going to be real trouble for Orlando because he's going to take off and he's going to get fouled or get to the free throw line or he's going to get a three-point play.
That personal was on Shaquille, by the way. His first.
You have to trust where your double team is going to come from, and you have to get help when you're playing Michael. You cannot open up the outside of the floor for him.
How about Michael goes 3 for 8 from the free throw line, and since then hasn't missed. And still hasn't. 22-16, 2:47 to go in the first quarter. There's the double team out high. Grant looking for somebody to pass it to. Scott, who has 3 threes, 2 threes. Shot clock down to 6. Shaquille hits Anderson down to 4. 3, 2. Hardaway bails him out at the buzzer.
I like their patience, though, there. Hardaway looked up. He was going to launch a 3. He said, no, I've got time. I'll take BJ down to the foul line, use my size, and shoot over him. That was a nice play.
Posting up Jordan inside. The fadeaway doesn't go, but Jordan will go to the free throw line.
Nick Anderson.
And it's on Nick Anderson, his first personal. Speaking of Hardaway,
the ball's going to swing to Hardaway. I don't know if you'll be able to see his eyes. He looks at the clock and he says, no, I got time. I'm going to go to the foul line, get up over BJ, use my size, get the good high percentage shot. That's smart basketball.
Michael Jordan with 8 points in this game.
Magic substitution.
Hardaway sees the lane open, drives and kicks it to Anthony Bowie, who buries it from the corner. Now that's not a shot that you would expect him to be making, but he has the ability to knock it down from out there.
See, I think he could be real key. Donald Royal will not take that shot.
Jordan posts up.
Michael Jordan.
Well, if he's going to hit that fadeaway shot, they're going to be in serious trouble because he goes so quickly you can't get back there and double team him.
Jordan's only 3 of 7 early in this game, but has 12 points. Will Perdue with the steal. Bulls have the numbers. Jordan. Oh, Dipsy-Doo doesn't fall. Bushler knocks it out of bounds. Ron Harper checks in for Chicago. Michael will get a rest with 1:22 to go in the quarter.
But you notice how the Magic are working so very hard for their scores against the clock, and Chicago's are coming more in the flow. Orlando's got to do a much better job getting early into their offense. They're going screen roll once again. They're going to push it over the top and have Pippen help.
Scott is open for three. Bushler runs at him and misses, and Scott knocks down his third triple of the night. Offensively, he's keeping Orlando in this game.
I tell you, Bob, it's amazing that the Bulls are only up 3 right now.
Purdue with a screen and roll with B.J. Armstrong. B.J. pulls up from 14. Nice soft touch by Armstrong. 28-23. Chicago, 44 seconds to go, first quarter.
Subtle little play there by B.J. He came off, little head and shoulder fake, got Shaquille to back off of him, took it right to the foul line and scored. Those are subtle little things. Just keep your opponent off balance.
Into Shaquille, he knocks Will Purdue into the basket stanchion.
You know what Will said? What did I do? What in the world did I do here? You know what, Shaquille, this is a frustration play by Shaquille. He says, you know what? I'm going to the rim. And that is power.
The foul's on Ron Harper, and all Will Purdue got out of it is a sore sternum.
With Shaq way off on his free throws here tonight.
0 for 3. His guru doesn't look very happy, but as we pointed out, he's gone up to 71% in this series, has been shooting them well. But as you pointed out a couple of games ago, Doug, I think it bears repeating. When Shaquille seems to get into a rhythm, sometimes he takes his mind off of it and drifts away from the free throw.
He stopped practicing it, and he's missed his first 4, and the Bulls are counting on the fact that at some point in time in this series that he will not make his free throws, and that Horace Grant will start missing his jump shot.
Speaking of Horace Grant, he goes to the bench. Donald Royal is in for this final 20 seconds. And Shaquille just picked up his second personal. That's the last thing Brian Hill wanted with 20 seconds left in the quarter.
Well, what I've seen here early in the game is the Bulls are getting baseline. They're getting messed up with that screen roll. We've seen Michael get in there. We've seen Kukoc get in there. We now see B.J. Armstrong. And B.J. Armstrong has been the man here in the first quarter for the Chicago Bulls. If I'm not mistaken, he has 8 points right now, looking for his 9th.
Yes, he has 8. He misses an excellent free throw shooter. He struggled some in the playoffs with free throw shooting, only at 75%. You talk about balance. That's what the Bulls got in Game 4.
Well, you know, the interesting thing to me is Michael only had 3 assists. But he wasn't looking for early shots. And what you see is Pippen 7 assists, Kukoc 9 assists, BJ 5. What happens is Michael passes the ball out of the double team, and it's the next passer who gets the assist. So Michael's assist, a little deceiving. He actually has more turnovers than assists in the series, but it's his pass that sets up the assist.
Jordan on the bench for the final 20 seconds of the period with 12 points. Bulls send Steve Kerr in. Jeff Turner is checked in for the Orlando Magic. Bulls by 6 with 19 seconds to go in quarter number 1.
Now the tempo favors the Magic. You're talking about a 110-plus point game right now. It would favor the Magic. I think for the Magic to win this game, they have to get the score up over 100 points.
Anthony Hardaway using the Jeff Turner screen to knock it down with 3.2 to go. Bulls do have a chance for a shot here, and Hardaway's hit his last 3 buckets. Steve Kerr swallowed alive by Donald Royal and Anthony Bowie, and at the end of 1, Bulls 29, Magic 25, Michael 12.
Let their triangle offense be a rhythm for them, and then free somebody for a shot.
5 to shoot for Kukoc. Fouled by Bowie as he spins into the lane.
Foul number 14, Anthony Bowie.
That's his first personal. O'Neal has 2. Nobody else has any more than that except Longley on the bench with 3 for Chicago.
You can always tell when guys are under pressure, the tempo of their game is a little different. Normally it's faster. And Anthony Bowie missed a wide open layup because he saw Michael Jordan and he tried to shoot it too quickly. We've seen Shaq do that 2 or 3 times tonight already.
Big play by Ron Harper. You know, talk about a factor who could step into a series. Ron Harper can come in and throw 20 points at you in a blink, and he hardly ever plays.
Yes, and he's also a guy that can play defense. And against this kind of team that the Magic throws out to those 6'6", 6'7" perimeter guys, he could be very effective.
Hardaway with a pick and roll. Jordan now matched up against Turner. Kukoc trying to start Anthony. This is the jumper, and Shaquille with a monster jam. Oh, baby.
No finger roll there. That was sheer power.
The 9th offensive rebound for Shaquille O'Neal in this game. It is a 4-point Bulls lead. Harper's going to take it inside again. Orlando ball.
Shot goes up. Nobody puts a body on Shaquille. I know that's easier said than done. But if you have to face guard him and take him out of the play, you've got to try to keep the dunk out of the game for Shaquille, especially the fact that right now he's struggling to find a rhythm in his game.
Now the screen and roll down the baseline. And that allows Donald Royal in. But Harper, you said he played defense with the block. Jordan inside to Purdue, and he's fouled by Jeff Turner.
See, Will Purdue is playing great right now for Chicago. He's not going to throw up a lot of statistics, but he's giving his team hustle points. And when Shaquille doesn't run the floor, he's going to run and get out and force somebody to take a foul on him.
Both teams talked it over in the timeout, and when play resumed, the Bulls picked their game up, and Shaq is still struggling with just 4 points so far. The Bulls are up by 6 with just under 6 minutes left in the first half.
Math. 39-33 Chicago, 5:19 to go, first half. Commissioner David Stern in the audience. We should send Craig Sager up to get a comment on the Jordan number. Since David's here, Wennington misses the layup. His own rebound and kicks it back out again.
Shaquille O'Neal is out of the ball game once again, getting a rest. Tree Rollins is in. So who's going to give the Magic offense with this group?
10 to shoot for Chicago, trying to post Jordan inside to Pippen from 14. Big bucket from Scotty. 8-point Bulls lead, and that's Pippen's first basket of this game.
I think I find it very interesting that Brian Hill has enough confidence to have both Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal out of the game at the same time.
Anderson down low, no place to go. Loose ball run down by Steve Kerr. And Nick Anderson is 0 for 5 in this game.
I think Brian Hill's got to get back Penny Hardaway into the game. He's been resting here for a while. He's got to bring some poise to this Magic team. They need his leadership badly.
Walking this way, Shaquille and Penny. Pippen's finger roll falls, and the Bulls have their biggest lead of the game, a lead of 10, 43-33. Timeout Orlando, Doug. No question about it. Brian Hill had the same thought you did. Orlando shooting 28% from the floor and 33% from the line.
B.J. Armstrong.
Dennis Scott. Bad pass, Kukoc. It was deflected by Pippen. Bulls have 3-on-1. Pippen! What a play. The double clutch. My.
Transition points. Free throw line. Easy scores. Remember we talked about in our opening? Right now, Chicago dominating those numbers. And as a result, they're up 12. Orlando cannot dig themselves too big of a hole here.
Chicago leading in transition points 14-2. Hardaway gets that one on the penetration. Bulls by 10. Shaquille O'Neal back in the game, as we pointed out, along with Anthony Hardaway, Dennis Scott, Horace Grant, and Nick Anderson. 5 to shoot.
Up and under. He likes to fake and go up and under.
To Wennington. Nice pass from Kukoc.
Kukoc is a tremendous passer. He sees the floor. That was a spur-of-the-moment thing. Shaquille came over to help, and the moment he did, Kukoc found Wennington for the score.
Nick Anderson open.
He wasn't close.
He has not hit a field goal tonight, Doug. He's 0 for 6.
Again, you talk about what the Magic are shooting from the field, from the free throw line. The fact that Nick Anderson has not scored, does not have a field goal. It's amazing that they're within 12 right now.
5 to shoot. Wennington's turnaround doesn't go. Shaquille with another rebound. That's only his second or third defensive rebound. Bulls by 12.
I think if the Magic can keep this to about a 6 or 8 point game by halftime, they'll be able to ride through this, but they need to really weather this moment.
Shaquille O'Neal sandwich with Wennington and Pippen. Look at this pass at the last moment. Tony Kukoc, just what you're talking about.
Now this is a guy who's 6'11". Watch Shaquille come over, and the moment he does, Tony with the little shovel pass. So if I'm a Chicago center, I run around with my hands up all the time because these guards are finding people. Tony, Michael, Scotty. Now Shaquille O'Neal, remember, 0 for 6 from the free throw line. Boy, for his own confidence, he needs to bury a couple of these going into the second half.
Well, he knocks this one down, and it brings cheers. But I'll tell you something, this kind of reaction to him sinking a free throw doesn't help his confidence either. Shaquille with 5 points, 1 for 7 from the free throw line.
I said the Magic need to get this game to 100-plus points to win it. Well, right now they're sitting on 36 points. Is Will Perdue going to get this foul?
No, it's going to go against Scottie Pippen. It's a lane violation on Scottie Pippen. So he'll get another shot opportunity, Shaquille, from the line.
I'm not so sure Shaquille wants to shoot another free throw. I remember when I played in the days, it was 3 for 2.
Yeah.
You get up there and miss a couple. You didn't want to look at that hat trick. So
Shaquille knocks this one down. Took his time, you may have noticed, and it's a 10-point Bulls lead with 2:12 to go in the half.
It might be that the Magic will be better in the second half when they calm down, lose a little bit of nervous energy. We saw that with Michael. I thought in game 2 in here, much better rhythm.
Bad pass from Pippen. Michael and Anderson wrestling for it loose. Shaquille is fouled.
Now,
Mercy.
Nick Anderson, Bob, made a terrific play. Michael Jordan and he both went for the loose ball. Michael could have been called for a foul here. Watch Michael Jordan now. As Nick tries to get this ball, just keep your eye on him. He sort of holds him down. And here comes Shaquille on the run.
And Michael is walking around out here very gingerly, as though he may have pulled or twisted something. He just finished going down into a crouch and stretching.
Might have fallen on one of those bony hips of his, too. You don't know.
Keep your eye out to look for a knee or an ankle twist.
Watch his hip. I think right there, I think he landed on his hip.
Also, that foot twist under him on the left side.
Oh.
You notice that foot twisting under his left foot?
Shaquille's made 4 in a row now.
47-39, Bulls by 8, 1:54 to go in the first half. He missed his first 6, hit his next 4. Crowd making a noise in Orlando. Chicago ball.
And that ball did not hit the rim, so only 5 seconds. Chicago must recognize this. They do not get a new shot clock.
Now, Phil Jackson is trying to plead his case with Ed T. Rush, saying there should be a new shot clock. The officials will talk about it.
Let's see if it hit.
Yeah.
Yes, it did hit the rim. It should be a new 24.
Now the Bulls call a 20-second timeout, and Phil Jackson's right. 1:35 to go in the half. Pippen misses, gets his own offensive board. The foul is going to be on Orlando, and Hardaway comes up limping and is holding his left foot. That's 3 fouls on O'Neal.
Little hustle plays again. Scottie Pippen beats the clock. Shaquille comes over, tries to defend against it, and no one else goes back to the boards to help him. Only Horace Grant there alone. Scottie Pippen with a great hustle play. Shaquille with a big 3rd foul. Now, what does this set up? It sets up the fact that Tree Rollins will come in right now. And Shaquille now has to worry, like he did in game 1, about picking up that 4th foul early and then having to sit in the second half.
Let's see what happened to Anthony Hardaway.
He jammed his toe early in this series, I think in game 1, and I think that's been a problem. I remember when he drove to the lane one time, I think he hit Scottie Pippen's foot and jammed his toe, and Hardaway going to the locker room.
He's hurting. Pippen misses both the free throws, and despite the way Orlando's played, a basket here, and they could cut that lead of the Bulls down to 6 at the half, something you said could be a very important.
Very important. I mean, they get this, 6 or 8 points. They're in pretty good shape.
6 to shoot, minute 12. Looking for Rollins, 4-3, blocked by Pippen.
That was a bad possession right there. Dennis Scott held it. Tree Rollins trying to post.
This is B.J. Armstrong.
And
that's a 3. And the Bulls lead it by 11, their biggest lead of the game with under a minute to go in the first half.
Let's see what happens with Hardaway and Shaquille sitting down to see if the Bulls can push this maybe to 14. Remember, it was at 8 when they sat down.
Bulls extending that defense. That gives Brian Shaw the opportunity for the jumper. That's a 2. And now the Bulls have 47 seconds remaining in the half. Craig Sager, what's the story on Hardaway's injury?
Penny has already gone to the locker room. He jammed the big toe on his right foot. He has gone in to get a little extra time to get it worked on.
Pippen misses the 3. 35 seconds to go in the half. Bulls by 9. Orlando ball with 20 seconds.
That was a set play by Chicago to get a 2-for-1 possession. They like to open the floor. Pippen will shoot the 3. He missed it. If the Magic can score here, they're down 7, which, Bob, I think with everything that's gone on and what the Magic have shot from the free throw line, the fact that Shaquille is not being able to convert offensive rebounds, it would be amazing for them to only be down 7 points.
Brian Hill, he uses the term poise and business-like approach with this young Magic team. The starting backcourt of Chicago, Michael Jordan and B.J. Armstrong, have 30 points. The starting backcourt for Orlando, Nick Anderson and Penny Hardaway, have only 8 points between them.
That's why I said when you look at statistics, they sometimes lie. You would think with Shaquille O'Neal having 14 offensive rebounds that he would have upwards of 20-something points, but that has not been the case tonight. I think this nervous energy of the Magic tonight has carried over into the rhythm which they've played the game.
Corey Blunt checks in for this final 30.8 seconds of the half, 20 on the shot clock for the Bulls, or for the Orlando Magic. And they find Donald Royal.
They still have plenty of time. They want to make sure they get a good look and a good shot. Watch Horace Grant shooting the jumper on this possession.
Pick and roll, and he's matched up with B.J. Armstrong. There's the jumper. 7-point Bulls lead, 19.8. Horace Grant, 4 of 5 from the floor tonight, all from the perimeter.
Big stop here right now. Some momentum play right now for Orlando. The crowd's in it. You want to prevent the Bulls from scoring here.
Jordan with 5 seconds. Bushler to Pippen. 3 seconds. Pippen, pull-up jumper. Misses. Bulls couldn't get it done. They stood around and waited for Michael. Jordan couldn't find an opening. Passed it around, and the Bulls with a very half-hearted attempt to score. And the half ends with the Bulls up by 7 and Orlando having to feel a little bit better than they did 1 minute ago.
We're at the half here in our game between the Orlando Magic and the Chicago Bulls. Let's take a look at the halftime stats. And in the first half, the Bulls, the center position, O'Neal has 8 points, and the Bulls centers combined have 10 rebounds and 8 fouls. Shaq, 16 rebounds. In the starting backcourt for the Orlando Magic, Penny Hardaway, 8 points. Nick Anderson, 0 for 5, has yet to score. The Bulls, 30 points. It's time now to go to the telestrator and look at a few key plays from the first half. Here we're going to look at 2 contrasting styles of how a fast break should be run. Nick Anderson has the ball. He'll get the ball up the floor to Dennis Scott, who will pull up and shoot a 3-point shot. Wide open, could have went to the basket, didn't shoot a layup. He pulled up for a 3-pointer, he missed. Now the Bulls are coming back at him, get the ball to Tony Kukoc. Here we have Kukoc with the basketball against number 3, Dennis Scott. Now watch Tony, does a direct opposite, takes the ball to the basket, has one of the NBA's all-time leading shot blocker here, Tree Rollins, but Tony doesn't worry about that. He goes up and dunks the ball into the basket. There, power basketball, there's 2 points. Another play here, which I think is one of the problems that the Orlando Magic has run into in the first half. They haven't run enough of the pick and roll play. We have here, Anthony Hardaway will take the ball and use the screen right there. Watch when he gets to the blue. Now they're bringing Shaq out to set the screen and roll a little bit away from the basket now. Hardaway gets to the bucket. We have Shaq, who is making a quick dash to the basket. We have Grant, who's making a quick dash to the basket, and he's pulling these defenders here with him. Hardaway will find Bowie over there for a nice wide-open jump shot that he nails down. There he penetrates, pulls the whole Chicago defense, has the rebounders in there. Bowie drills the shot. Martin, I look at the first half, and the thing that I see is that the Orlando Magic are only down by 7 points.
Well, the thinking behind that is that they're at home, the crowd can get behind them, they can have a big second half and come back and win comfortably. let's just hope for Orlando's sake that the team aren't thinking in that vein.
Well, I mean, I look at it. You have Shaq, 2 for 12 from the field. Anderson, 0 for 5 from the field. That's 2 starters that are 2 for 17 from the field. They've missed numerous layups. If I'm Bob Hill, Brian Hill, I don't want to say that to the players, but I feel good about Orlando right now just because of those statistics.
Yeah, there's no way. Surely they can't go 2 for 17. You realize how difficult, the kids playing at home, you realize how difficult it is to make only 2 out of 17 shots.
Let's look at Orlando also from an overall team. What do they need to go to the next level?
Well, I think what they're lacking is the kind of player that doesn't just want to win, but wants to annihilate his opponents. Charles Barkley, talking of his current series with Houston, said, they won't die for you. You have to kill them like a snake. And that's the kind of player that Orlando need. Barkley's at the Phoenix Suns. Rodman's that kind of player at San Antonio. Reggie Miller at Indiana. Michael Jordan at Chicago. And the whole New York team have got that attitude where they want to actually destroy their opponent, not just win.
Okay, it's time to rejoin the second half. It should be a good one. It's back to Bob and Doug in Orlando.
Into Michael Jordan, kicks it to Pippen. Off the glass, not this time. Rebound, Horace Grant. Can cut the lead to 5. The Orlando Magic, who in the first half only shot 31% from the floor and 62% from the line.
Remember now, how you start the third quarter says a lot about your team.
Going hard to the hoop is Nick Anderson. Horace Grant gets an inside basket, his first follow basket of this ball game. All the other Horace Grant buckets have come from the perimeter. B.J. Armstrong throws up the jumper. B.J. is feeling it tonight.
You notice that they're involving Shaquille in a lot of screen rolls, and he's not getting out there big. So the Bulls know when they come off, that shot will be there for them, so they'll keep using him in that screen roll till he makes an adjustment.
Armstrong's 5 of 8 tonight, down to Shaquille. Longley has 3 fouls. Shaquille off the glass hard.
Now that was in rhythm, and that was a regular season shot. Got the contact turn and shot the jump hook.
Michael's fadeaway goes down. Jordan with 20 points, 18 at the half. Bulls continue to lead by 7. Nick Anderson, playing with a touch of the flu tonight, had a very rough first half. Anderson did not score.
See Michael playing way off in the passing lane, so they cannot get the ball into Hardaway in the post.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Scott on the penetration. Bumps into Jordan. Good spin move. Rebound, Pippen.
That's not Dennis Scott's game, though, putting the ball on the floor.
Pippen gets it back from Tony Kukoc and will go to the free throw line. Oh, I love to watch Kukoc pass the ball.
Foul number 54.
Let me show you a play right here. We're going to run this forward, the double team, and we'll stop this right here. In game 4, Nick Anderson was staying out there. They've made an adjustment. They're cutting him to the basket. So this guy's trying to play 2 players, and he can't do it. Watch what happens now. That's an adjustment that they have made. Let's see if they keep going to that. Diving through the second cutter to force that weak side guy to pick him up, then the next guy will be open.
Scottie Pippen having a terrible night at the line. He is 0 for 4, missed both of those free throws, and they are significant. Horace Grant picked up his foul there. He has 2. The penetration, the pass into Shaquille, and he powers it inside and draws the foul. Taking his time, powering his way up to the basket, and he has 4 points that fast, and Longley has 4 personal fouls.
Phil Jackson thought he walked, but he didn't. He just fumbled the pass. He never had control of it.
He didn't have it long enough.
And again, Shaquille has calmed himself down a little bit. He's made his last 4 free throws after missing 6 in a row, make it 5 in a row, and he's made his last 2 field goals. Much calmer to start this third quarter.
And Orlando has cut the Bulls' lead to 4. The crowd calling for defense at the arena. Jordan says so much for defense on that shot. Nobody in his face. Michael has 22. Bulls by 6. Horace Grant answering quickly, but nowhere to go with the ball.
See, Horace is not a playmaker. He's got to get himself on the offensive boards right there.
You were talking to Brian Hill today about the double on Shaq down low and the need for Horace to come to the front of the rim.
And he's doing that. He just did that there. He got the beautiful pass back. Now the Magic needs some defense to calm this crowd down a little, to keep this crowd excited.
Missed shot from Longley. 4-point game. Dennis Scott cuts it to one. Timeout, Chicago. 56-55, Orlando has cut it to one.
Remember, I talk about Shaquille O'Neal in the screen roll. He's not showing up big, so the Bulls know that they can get that shot. But more importantly, the Magic defense, the great passing, the cutting of Horace Grant, the three-point shot of Dennis Scott, and they're now playing in the Magic rhythm. 5 of 6. Dennis Scott now 4 of 7 from the three-point line.
And you can call it the Magic Kingdom once again, as the Magic playing here like they did all season. The best record in the NBA at home in the regular season. Kukoc. Chance for the Magic to take the lead on the run.
There's Dennis Scott again.
Orlando's first lead of the game. Scott with 4, make it 5 3-pointers.
This is where you have to have poise. Go to Michael Jordan, let him make a play for you.
Like that. And it's Bulls 58-57.
That's the poise of a champion.
Quick answer for Orlando. Hardaway now has 10, his first hoop of this half. B.J. Armstrong's pull-up.
Shots are coming too quick. This is the Magic tempo. Watch Scott again, spotting up. There he is.
Well, he's really feeling it inside. Nice pass to Shaquille. And the no-look to Horace Grant. Shaquille with 3 quick assists. And Grant has only missed 1 shot in this game.
The Bulls are out of rhythm right now. The Magic have shaken them. They're playing too quickly.
Longley backs off and knocks down a 2 from close end. Longley, by the way, playing with 4 personals. Magic up by 1, 61-60.
Bob, if my math serves me correct, they have scored 18 points in under 5 minutes. They had 43 in the entire first half. That pace is way too fast for Chicago.
Chicago getting them to slow it down a little bit here. Anderson, who has not scored in the game. Down to Shaquille, single coverage from Longley. Finally, Kukoc gets there, and the foul is committed. And it's going to be on Tony Kukoc.
When you get double teams, you got to cut to the open area. And the Bulls don't do a good job with a weak side rotation. Shaq looked like Magic Johnson there. The no-look, pass over the shoulder. You can see the Magic's confidence rising and rising. Now, the one thing I'm going to throw out there, Shaquille must stay away from his 4th foul. They need to keep this run going through this quarter.
Shaquille O'Neal has now hit his last 6 free throws and is up to 6 of 12 from the line, and his guru Buzzy Brayman breathing easier. Reminds me of a tennis match sometimes with the coach sitting on the sideline. Orlando on a 19-10 run in this quarter, and they got a chance to expand that lead. The Bulls not ready for that rebound off the miss. Horace Grant knocks it down. 64-60 Orlando.
If Orlando wins this series, he is the MVP. He's been the most consistent player through all 5 games.
20 points, 9 rebounds for Horace Grant. Bulls out of sync. Frenzied defense. Michael sneaks in alone and gets the jam to fall.
Now, let me ask you a question. How can you leave him alone? If anything, you got 3 guys on him.
They've left him alone twice in this game now. And both times he's burned him with a jam and the perimeter shot. Shaquille looking like he's really feeling it. Look at him battle. He has to be held by Pippen. Oh, that's got to make Hulk Hogan happy.
Well, you know what, Bob, I'm going to say it again. He's starting to play offense like he did in the regular season. He's spinning. He's taking his time now. And look at the power on this man. You wonder why a guy gets frustrated. Can you imagine every night playing knowing that every time you go to the basket, they're going to grab you and they're going to hold you? There's nothing wrong with what Chicago's doing. But if they do it to you all night long, eventually that's going to upset you.
Well, the Hulkster's loving it. He said he was here to watch the back of Shaq tonight. Shaq doing it all by himself. 14 points for O'Neal, 18 rebounds, 6 of 14 from the line. And you look at this, the difference, he is down 7 in field goal attempts, up 3 in free throw attempts per game.
Well, the reason he's down, I think, in field goal attempts is because he went away from all that little arsenal that he worked on over the summer. He went simply to the power game or to the free throw line.
Now this huge run by Orlando has netted them only a 2-point lead here.
But they're +9, which is big. So they've been able to make up 7 points in a real hurry.
7 on the shot clock. B.J. Armstrong from 18. He had to force that shot. Horace Grant with his 10th rebound of this ball game. Magic by 2, 5:53 remaining in the third quarter.
Now watch on the double down. Horace is going to cut.
Michael gets the steal and the foul on Hardaway. We saw that in game 4.
You got to meet the pass. Hardaway's standing, and Michael's reading that from the weak side. Shaquille has got to read that, and if Michael's going to rotate over, the guy 1 pass removed will be open. The guy on the weak side, that's when Shaquille can jump in the air and find the guy on the other side of the floor.
Doug, I just noticed something happening. I'm going to get you to talk about it in a moment because you know it. It's one of the tricks of Jordan. He's being very friendly with Anthony Hardaway, talking with him between plays, helping him up off the floor.
Yeah, while he's driving a stake in your chest.
Longley misses. Interesting. Michael Jordan, the psychology of his game. Magic by 2.
Well, he tried to do that with Alonzo Mourning in the Charlotte series. Remember when they had the little thing and Michael was over there wolfing a little bit, and then Alonzo came back. All the little subtle things to try to get you thinking about something than beating him.
When Hardaway stubbed his toe in the first half, Michael was over there very quickly to offer him sympathy. Into Grant with 17 on the shot clock, 5:19 to go in the quarter. Magic up 2.
I'd like to see him post Hardaway here. He can get the double team and create a shot for somebody.
There you go. He gets the shot off to Grant. Finally, who's going to have to penetrate into Shaquille. Pippen fouls him. I'll tell you something. Scottie Pippen only gives up about 70 pounds to Shaquille, but Scottie Pippen plays hard.
All right, let me show you what's happening, Bob. Double team. The ball's coming to Horace Grant. We're going to stop it right there. He is now attacking. This guy has to step up, and Shaq is the man right there. So you see it, putting the ball on the floor, so not shooting just jump shots. Shaquille now back into one of those bad spells. He's missed his last 3.
He's a streak free throw shooter. I think that's the best way to say it. And Scottie Pippen has 3 personal fouls for Chicago.
How would you like to live and die with him being your pupil? Woo. One day you're excited, the next day you're in despair. Look at Buzzy.
Magic by 3, 5:03 to go in the quarter. Magic trailed by 7 at the half. They came out here and opened with a 19-10 run. Inside Longley, and he's fouled by Horace Grant. Now, Longley's a pretty good free throw shooter. He shoots it at an 83% clip, and will go to the line for the first time in this game.
One of the things you're seeing is when the Magic when the Bulls get in trouble, they're going to screen roll and involving Shaquille in the play. They know he does not defend it that well. That time it's Kukoc and Longley. Horace Grant gets the foul.
And Horace has 3, and Longley misses the free throw. So Horace Grant and Shaquille both carrying, and very importantly here with nearly 5 minutes to go in the third, 3 personals apiece.
And they cannot lose either one of those players.
Longley knocks down one of them, and it is once again a 2-point Orlando lead.
Again, what we're going to see, too, now as this game starts to wind down, when both teams go to their benches, Orlando's bench cannot come in with the idea of holding the fort. They've got to come in like, we've got to play well.
Hardaway shoots it over everybody. What a shot by the 6'7" Penny Hardaway. He has 12 in the game.
Aggressive off that screen roll.
Jordan posted up for the fadeaway. Not this time. Hardaway got right in his face. Shaquille has 19 rebounds.
Now Dennis Scott spotting up for 3 if they find him.
They found him, but the defense was out on him in the name of Scottie Pippen. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Here's screen roll once again. If Pippen helps, there's Hardaway with the 3.
Rebound, Michael Jordan.
See, Hardaway's being much more aggressive. I like what he's doing out here for Orlando right now.
Michael Jordan with that tongue out and the lather going. Looks like he's about to start something. Hardaway misses on the steal attempt. Shaquille with the block. Bulls have only 7 to shoot. I wonder if Scottie knows it. Yes, he does. Big three-pointer from Scottie Pippen, who now has only 9 points in the game. His first scoring of this half, and the Bulls are within 1.
You talk about those little hustle plays. Instead of the Magic having the ball up 4 with a chance to go to 6, they're now only up 1. Those are the big plays that we talk about that turn games.
Hardaway draws the double team. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Open man, Dennis Scott buries the 3. That's 5 3-pointers for Dennis Scott.
We talked about the wild cards, Kukoc and Dennis Scott. Scott is playing great. Tony has gotten very quiet.
Jordan pulls up. The flat jumper goes down. He's only 14 away, and the Magic continues to lead by 2 now. 3:06 to go in a frenzied third quarter. Michael has 28.
See the pace of the game now, though, with the Orlando Magic. The Bulls have got to be able to slow this down a little bit. I think for the Magic to win, they must win it up over 100. I think 95 or under for Chicago.
Hardaway with a trouble on the crossover dribble. 8 on the shot clock. Shaquille way away from the hoop. Now single coverage from Longley. 4. The fadeaway jumper. It goes down for Shaquille, and O'Neal has 17. He had only 2 in the first quarter, only 8 at the half.
Yeah, but did we see that shot early in the series?
This is the second time we've seen it in the whole series. Shaquille with his 20th rebound. Now this Magic team starting to play with more confidence. Michael Jordan with the hand check foul, and the Magic leading by 4 with 2:15 to go in the third. That's the first personal foul on Michael Jordan.
Dennis Scott is hot, and it looks like the Magic have finally woken up here in the second half. We pick it up a little later in the third. The Bulls trail by 4.
Seconds on the shot clock. Dennis Scott trying to get his shot off his own dribble. Grant keeps it alive, knocks it out of bounds. Chicago ball, trailing by 4.
That's really not Dennis Scott's game, playing one-on-one. His effectiveness has been tonight by what I call being a parasitic player. That's feeding off the greatness of other guys. When he tries to create his own, he gets himself in trouble.
As he did there. Orlando by 4. 1:12 to go in the third quarter. Orlando trailed by 7 at the half. Armstrong gets them all in the air. He goes hard to the hoop. The follow by Pippen. Wave it off. Offensive basket interference.
See, Shaquille is buying some time on the bench right now. The Bulls are not cutting into this. B.J. Armstrong, 2 guys flying at him. Then Dennis Scott bothers him, misses the shot, and there the ball is on the rim. But can the Bulls take advantage of Shaquille sitting down? And Michael and Scottie have played the entire third quarter. That could be a factor.
Shaw with the drive and the bounce pass to Horace Grant. And it gets to go, and it is 75-69 Magic by 6. Chicago has only scored 19 points in this quarter. Jordan's lean-in jumper doesn't go down. Air ball to Horace Grant.
That was a 2-for-1 possession. The Bulls trying to get a quick score. Boy, this could be big. If the Magic score here, it's an 8-point lead. That would be a 17-point turnaround. Excuse me, a 15-point turnaround in this quarter.
7 on the shot clock, 19 in the quarter. Hardaway knocks down the 3. Oh, baby. Magic by 9. 14 to go in the quarter. Bulls are scrambled. Double team on Pippen. Into Kukoc. Armstrong with the drive. Out of there. Kukoc puts it back. He'll have a foul and go to the line with 1.9 seconds to go in the quarter. And you're looking at a revitalized Orlando Magic basketball team.
Well, they're big guys. They're stars. Hardaway and Shaquille took over this quarter. Now what's going to happen is Phil Jackson is going to have to go to his bench here. Michael has played the entire time. So when they sit him down, the Bulls are going to have to be able to hold it close so that Michael can come in and try to finish this game off.
Kukoc misses from the free throw line. Michael Jordan has scored 10 points for Chicago in the quarter, but the rest of the Bulls have only been able to come up with 9 points between them, and the Bulls having Orlando-like free throw stats. Chicago is 14 of 22 from the free throw line. 8-point Magic lead. Horace Grant.
If that goes goes in, we know Horace is unconscious.
Orlando comes from a 7-point deficit, outscores Chicago 35-20, and takes an 8-point lead going into the final 12 minutes.
Welcome back to the show, and there's just 12 minutes left between the Magic and the Bulls in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, and this is going to be a great final quarter. The Bulls trail by 8. It's back to Bob and Doug.
42 will Purdue.
Ten seconds to shoot for Orlando.
This could be a big possession. It could put the Magic up double figures. That's not happened all night long.
O'Neal's turnaround again. The offensive board stolen by Hardaway. Shaw buries the three.
And add one more to the hustle board. 3 points.
Magic by 11, their largest lead of the game. Hardaway has 10 assists in this game.
Now, Shaw cannot allow Steve Kerr to be a factor.
Bushler on the floor for Chicago to Purdue. And Shaquille O'Neal got a piece of that one. 4 blocked shots for Shaquille. Anderson is still 0 for the game in scoring. Bulls on the run. They have the numbers. Pippen's going to pull up and miss the three. Ball out of bounds off Nick Anderson. Remember, playing ill tonight. He's 0 for 7 and struggling, but giving him as many minutes as he can.
Horace Grant on the bench right now for the arrest. I'm sure Brian Hill would like to keep him there maybe till about the 8-minute mark. Interesting substitution. Harper coming in. Will it be for Bushler?
Or
it's going to be for Pippen. So Phil Jackson going to rest Scottie Pippen here, bring in Ron Harper. So with that team on the floor right now, Michael Jordan is the only guy that can score unless you get Bushler layups.
And that's a nice reversal for Judd Bushler, who gets it on the inbounds play. Magic lead at 9. Kerr and Bushler, Harper, Jordan, and Purdue on the floor for Chicago.
Remember, Brian Shaw was big in the game that they won in Chicago.
Fouled by Harper.
He came off the bench to give them big-time points. He's given them very good production tonight.
The foul on number 9, Ron Harper. His second.
That's the second personal on Harper. Pippen has 3 personals for the Bulls. Longley 4. Nobody else in foul trouble. Both Grant and O'Neal carry 3 fouls for the Orlando Magic.
Look at this lineup that Chicago has on the floor right now. Michael Jordan's a power forward. He's under the basket rebounding right now. You've got Will Purdue, who's really not a scorer. Steve Kerr, who will spot up and shoot the threes. Harper, who's a slasher, and Bushler. So this has got to be a defensive lineup that Phil Jackson's hoping to go to get his team back into the game. 2 big missed free throws.
Orlando 14 of 27 from the line. Eastern Conference semifinals, Game 5, series tied at 2. Orlando Magic leading 81-72 with 10.5 minutes to go in this ball game.
Shaquille's got to show up big on this screen roll.
Jordan on the hard drive.
No basket.
Well, he drew a crowd.
Foul number 20.
It's on Brian Shaw, and Michael will go to the free throw line, where he has not missed tonight. Jordan carrying 28 points in the game.
When Michael Jordan gets to the outside of the floor, it's all kinds of problems. Penny Hardaway pushed him down there, and when he's gotten down there tonight, something positive has happened for Chicago. They have got to push him back to the middle where they can get help.
Michael 7 of 7 from the line.
It's easier said than done trying to guard Michael Jordan. I guess that would be the equivalent of trying to tackle Barry Sanders in the open field.
A good analogy. 81-74 Magic now. Bulls trying to pull back in here. They led by 7 at the half, did the Bulls, but they were outscored 35-20 by Orlando to go down at the beginning of this quarter. In low, O'Neal. He's not going to miss down there.
I can only tell you the difference in his game in this half is that he's calmed himself down. He was so hyper in the first half, but why not? It's a 5th game, something and somewhere that Orlando has never been before.
Bushler from Purdue, 10 on the shot clock. Bushler on the drive. Who's the open man? Harper. Back to Bushler. Bushler. He's got a good jump shot. Knocks it down from over there. And Judd Bushler with 4 points off the bench. That's something I'm sure the Magic weren't expecting. 83-76 Orlando.
Now, Phil Jackson just said to Will Perdue, get him off the block. And here's an unforced error by Brian Shaw.
And a timeout is called on the floor. It's an official timeout. And Shaquille O'Neal has 19 points and 20 rebounds. Michael Jordan, speaking of showbiz, knocks down the jumper. Look out, Michael has 32, and you said at the break, the Orlando lead cut to 5. Orlando is going to have to withstand a probable frenzied finish by Chicago.
Well, a little open court play there by the Magic right out of the timeout. They opened the floor up for Shaw to go against Kerr.
Kerr, a very intelligent defensive player, batted away. Chicago on an 8-2 offensive spurt now. 15 on the shot clock for the Magic.
Again, this is with Scottie Pippen sitting on the bench, so Orlando has not been able to take advantage.
Now, hard to the hoop comes Dennis Scott. Rebound. Will Perdue.
I tell you, if I'm Brian Hill, I got to get Penny Hardaway back in the game.
Now Brian Scott trying to play Jordan. Harper on the floor, and the foul, hand check on Brian Shaw. That'll be his third.
This run all started with Brian Shaw's missed 2 free throws. They were up 9, they could have pushed it to 11. The Bulls now cut it to 5 with a chance to go to 3 or 2.
Michael Jordan with a screen and roll for Perdue, tongue hanging out. Finds Kerr, looking for Perdue in the post. Here's a screen by Perdue. Michael Jordan missing. Loose ball foul is going to be on Chicago. It's on Judd Bushler.
See, with this lineup that Phil's got on the floor, the only guy that can really score is Michael. Let's see if Scottie comes in for Michael right now to give Michael a little bit of a rest.
That's what's happening. Michael to the bench and Pippen on the floor.
Remember, in Game 3, when this occurred, Chicago went on a 14-1 run when Michael rested and took the lead on Orlando after they had taken a 10-point lead.
Let's see what Scottie Pippen does at this point in this game.
Look at this interior position, though, that Shaquille's getting. He's posting up right in front of the rim.
Foul on Perdue. 8:12 to go in the game. Coming up right after this, we'll be going to Texas. 8 minutes to go in the game. Magic by 5, looking for O'Neal in the post.
How about that fadeaway jumper again? We're going to see that?
Well, he thought about it. Open man is Nick Anderson, who's 0 for 7. Dennis Scott's been feeling it. Inside, it's blocked. 6 on the shot clock for Orlando. Bulls playing good defense on this possession.
How long will Anthony Hardaway stay out of the game? That's going to be a real key right now. Magic losing a little of their poise right now with him sitting down.
4, you see the time remaining to shoot. Dennis Scott trying to work for the shot. The fadeaway, big bucket from Dennis Scott. He has 19 points. 5 triples in the game, and Hardaway gets to rest a little longer.
Now, who's going to score for Chicago? Is it going to be Pippen or Steve Kerr? Really, nobody out here to score.
Kerr trying to get his shot off his own dribble. Perdue with 4 is going to find Harper with 2. This is everything. Shot clock violation. And you're right, the Bulls have nobody on the floor who can score. Chicago 2 of 12 tonight from the arc.
Phil's got to be very careful with this team he's got on the floor right now. They're up 7. Excuse me, the Orlando's up 7. And if they get down 11 points, they're going to be in trouble with 6 minutes to go. So he's got to be very careful. The fact that he has really no scores on the floor right now other than Scottie Pippen.
Down by 7 into Anderson. Back to O'Neal. He thought about the little jumper. Anderson gets his first basket of the game. Chicago timeout. Phil Jackson waited a little too long. Maybe Steve Kerr irate, throwing his towel and kicking the side of the scorer's table. We've been talking in the entire playoffs about the Magic, the young team growing up. They've been led by Horace Grant.
Well, I think the first series against Boston really taught us a lesson. We grew up in that series a little bit, but we still have a lot more to learn about the game of basketball because we're such a young team. But I think in this series with the Bulls, we will come of age. If not, we'll be at home the next round.
You've granted our wishes, they say here in Orlando for Horace Grant. 7 minutes to go. Anthony Hardaway is going to stay on the bench for a moment longer. Phil Jackson has changed his lineup. Now we have B.J. Armstrong and Pippen, who will join Michael Jordan, Bill Wennington, and Tony Kukoc on the floor.
Be aware now, Whittington screen roll. He will shoot the jumper against Shaq. That could be a weapon as the Bulls run their half-court offense.
Down to 8 seconds for Chicago. BJ kicks it to Pippen. Down to 5. Wennington has to take the bailout shot. It's not there. Bulls playing with a great deal of a tentative attitude here, trailing by 9 with 6:32 to go.
And it's amazing, Anthony Hardaway is still on the bench. They have been able to buy 6 minutes with him sitting down. He's getting ready to check in after the next dead ball.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Horace Grant in the paint. This is this with Pippen. Tips it out to Dennis Scott.
Another hustle stat, that hustle board, look at it now, up to 9, plus 9 for the Magic.
Time down to 6 minutes to go in the game, and Pippen's going to be called for the hand check. That's 4 on Pippen, and Hardaway is coming back into the game for Brian Shaw.
And Brian Shaw did a nice job. He gave them a nice lift and bought them 6 minutes, and they lost no points off their lead with him out there on the floor.
Scott will inbound for Orlando. The Bulls, by the way, will be in the penalty on their next foul. They've committed 4 team fouls. Orlando only 2. Shaquille against Wennington. Nobody stops that double team. Shaquille O'Neal has brought his game tonight. 21 points, 20 rebounds. And that ties the biggest lead of the game.
And Tony Kukoc has got to get involved offensively. The second half, he has been a non-factor.
He scored 1 basket. Kukoc into the paint, kicks to Jordan. He'll take the 3 and make the 3. That's a big bucket for Chicago. It cuts the lead to 8 with 5:33 to go, and Jordan has 35.
Magic must keep their poise because you know Chicago is going to come at them defensively. They cannot go through one of those sequences where they turn the ball over and don't get shots at the basket.
Shaquille too far away, so they have to turn around to take the jumper. Hardaway, offside rebound, won't fall. Kept alive by Jordan, saved by Armstrong.
Well, that's a big play right there.
Armstrong back quickly. Good defense by Anderson. Pippen to the penetration. Blocked by Shaquille. 5 blocks in the game for Shaquille O'Neal.
And Shaquille can play aggressively because he stayed out of foul trouble in the 3rd quarter. Scotty with a little look away and Shaquille with the big block.
And the big game tonight.
Watch Michael Jordan reversing on this inbounds play. He'll try to suck you in and grab you and then reverse to the rim.
He's wide open, lost Anderson on a screen and buries it. Michael has 37, and the Bulls have pulled to within 6 with 4:52 to go in the game. This may be the beginning of the frenzied Bulls outburst that Orlando has to face.
And be very careful here getting the ball up court. They got to get into their sets and free throw shooting again because you know Shaquille, they're going to put him to the line if he gets the interior position.
There's the double team on Shaquille. Open man Nick Anderson with the drive. Pass to Horace Grant.
See, Shaquille is not jumping in the air tonight, Bob. Remember on Sunday afternoon when he left his feet? He's not doing that tonight.
24 for Grant. He's only missed 3 of 13 shots. Pick and roll, BJ and Wennington. Wennington has that shot from 17, not this time. Pippen is there for the offensive boards, out of bounds. Chicago ball, 4:08 to go.
See the double team by Shaquille. He muscles through, and then the drive. They don't shoot the 3, and the slow rotation by Chicago. Someone else has got to score, though, beside Michael Jordan.
Wennington is 1 of 7 tonight. Jordan, a nearly impossible shot, and the defensive rebound goes to Shaquille O'Neal.
Boy, oh boy, it looked like he was going. Oh man!
Near steal by Kukoc.
Almost 2 turnovers there on that sequence. And the Magic get away with it and still have the basketball.
Up by 8 with 3:47. Shot clock to 7. Scott with 5 threes tonight. That's a 2. He's fouled on the shot by Tony Kukoc.
Not only that, you foul a jump shooter as the shot clock is winding down. 2 cardinal sins on 1 play. See, Michael now has to take an impossible shot. But in fairness to Michael, no one else is looking to score, Bob. He's the only guy looking to be aggressive right now. It's almost like, Michael, bail us out. They will not win this game if Michael Jordan has to carry them home right now. Someone's got to give him some help.
Michael Jordan, 14 of 27 from the field tonight. Pippen and Kukoc combined are 6 of 18. And Dennis Scott, you said tonight at our opening, Doug, that Dennis Scott would be a barometer the way he would step up and knock down his shots tonight for Orlando.
Well, he now has 22 points.
10-point Magic lead.
And
3:38 to go.
And Tony Kukoc is 2 for 6, and all those came early.
What a comeback. Michael Jordan down low. He'll get that to follow. Michael has 39 points. It's an 8-point game. Still not over with 3:19 to go. The Bulls are in the penalty. Magic have committed only 2 team fouls.
Remember now, though, in Game 3 when the Bulls lost, Michael had 40.
8 to shoot. Down to Shaquille. There's the quick double team. Open man cutting to the rim. Anthony Hardaway from O'Neal. Timeout, Chicago.
Welcome back to the show, and what a turnaround for the Magic in this game. Up by 10, 3 minutes away from taking a 3-2 lead in the East semifinals over Chicago. Time is running out for the Bulls.
The pace of this game definitely in Orlando's favor. 95-85 with 2:59 to go.
Bob, here's what's the adjustment. B.J. Armstrong covering this. They're staying at home here. In Game 4, both of these guys stood, and Scotty could play them both. Tonight, this guy's cutting, and it put them in all kinds of problems. Orlando doing a good job out of the double teams tonight.
Orlando very balanced scoring again. If you look at the big 3 numbers there, Orlando has 22 from Scott to add to their numbers on the board there. And only 5 from Tony Kukoc. What a disappointment that has been for the Bulls offensively.
You know, B.J. had the big first half. They've got nothing from him in the second half. Scotty has struggled, and all they've done now is look to Michael Jordan,
who has 39 points. Maybe too little too late in a losing cause, though. B.J. Armstrong is only 1 basket this half. Pippen from long range. He short arms it. Scottie Pippen looking tired. B.J. will try the 3. It doesn't go down. O'Neal with the rebound. That's 22 rebounds for Shaquille in this game, and they're on their feet at the arena.
The hustle board at the end of 3 was +6. It is now +10 Orlando.
Hardaway's fall-away jumper. Rebound from Bill Winnington, and the Bulls have the run here. They're going to try to score as fast as possible, of course. And Dennis Scott nearly beheaded B.J. Armstrong.
Question is that a 2-shot foul?
It's a 2-shot foul.
They say he got past Dennis Scott, I guess, so he had a path to the basket. Are they going to call a flagrant?
Yeah.
This could really be big. This could be a 4 or 5 point swing.
B.J. Armstrong shooting 2.
That's pretty flagrant.
I don't think Dennis meant to pull him down.
Intent doesn't count.
That's exactly right.
B.J. Armstrong knocks it down. He'll get another one, and the Bulls will get the ball back, and that's big.
Oh, it's real big, because if B.J. hits his free throw, it's an 8-point game. A 3-pointer could cut it to 5, and still about 5 or 6 possessions left in this ball game. So
maintain possession.
it looked like Dennis tried to grab him here, and then he did get a little extracurricular there at the end, I guess.
I'd say so. That's like one of those unintentional face masks in football. 2 minutes to go in the game. Winnington's open for the jumper. It was blocked by Horace Grant. Came out to throw it back in his face. That was big. Orlando by 8. 1:50 to go. Eight on the shot clock.
Let Hardaway break his man down here off the dribble.
4. Up and under Shaquille.
No basket.
No basket, but he'll go to the line where he's struggled in the latter part of the game. He's only 7 of 17 all night from the free throw mark.
Bob, is it my imagination, or is it in this half, Shaquille played with more of a passion that we've seen in the entire series? Animation, passion, energy.
I think it's because he brought the Hulkster here. And I agree with you. His passion is very high. 21 points, 22 rebounds, 5 blocks, knocks down the free throw. Coming up right after this game, the Lakers at San Antonio. Spurs leading in the series 3 games to 1. It's showbiz, baby. And then at TBS, following the Braves game tonight, Houston at Phoenix. So we'll have both of those Western Conference games on for you on either TNT or TBS.
Michael Jordan has 39. One of the reasons. BJ, Pippen, Kukoc to combine 2 for 15 in this half.
They've had their opportunities. It just won't fall. Pippen. Wennington also has struggled, and he continues. He's 1 for 9 from the floor, Bill Wennington.
When he makes that shot, he's a factor. When he doesn't, he's not, because he cannot keep Shaquille away from the basket. The Magic, this is the biggest win in their history, in my estimation. More so than even the road win in Chicago.
These fans are feeling that way. Nick Anderson with the reverse from Hardaway. And that will be the cherry on the sundae. 99-87, Orlando's biggest lead, and it's all over. Orlando's going to take the decisive 3-2 lead in Game 5 of the best-of-7 series. It'll go back to Chicago on Thursday. DJ Armstrong will just get in for the lay-in, but it's way too little, way too late. The Magic by 10. Orlando has outscored Chicago by 17 points here in the second half.
Bob, I have felt all along in this series, and I know that Orlando won the first game 94-91, but it was sort of a giveaway late by Chicago. They had that game won. They won Game 3 in Chicago with 110 points. If Penny Hardaway gets one of these 2 free throws, they're going to be at the 100-point mark, and I believe it's imperative if they're going to win this series, to win the 4th game of this series, they're going to have to get the score at 100 or more.
189 Orlando. In the second half, the Magic has outscored the Bulls 57-39. Dennis Scott came in and came up big in this ball game. Dennis had 5 3-pointers, 22 points in the game.
Remember, Hardaway missed his first 6 shots, didn't stop playing, and he's got 19 points now and 11 assists.
Inside to Wennington for the jam with only 17 seconds to go in the game. So now Chicago goes back to the United Center, where they won on Sunday to pull the series even, but where they also know that the Orlando Magic has won the first game of that series up there. So the United Center offers no scary picture to the Orlando Magic, who have played very well on the road in the playoffs, including 2 big wins in series number 1 at Boston.
Bob, I'll tell you what they have to resist, though. Resist the feeling that they got a game in their pocket, okay? And you see what happens. The team that wins this game has won 76 of the 89 series in a best-of-7. But, Bob, to finish the thought, Orlando cannot play with the idea that there is a 7th game. I think they have to play with the idea there's only that 6th game. If it goes to 7, that's fine. But don't give the Bulls another chance to come back in here and beat you once again.
Michael Jordan, you see his face. By the way, his face is on the cover of Sports Illustrated this week for the 33rd time, which ties Muhammad Ali for the most appearances on the cover of SI, but it doesn't do him any good here tonight. The Magic by 10. Orlando has this one locked up. They'll take a 3-2 lead. The series will go back to Chicago Thursday night. We'll be there for you on TNT. In the first half, Shaquille O'Neal, high adrenaline, high energy, rushing his game. Doug, you called it. He came back out, slowed down in the second half, and you see what he did.
And also, too, after 13 offensive rebounds in the first half, only 1 in the second half. So his game actually picked up when he wasn't slapping and tipping the ball, but really catching it, taking his time, making plays. Hardaway 4 for 7 in the second half. I think that high energy and all that nervousness really got to Orlando in the first half.
Bushler keeps it alive for B.J. Armstrong. The tip in back in.
Judd Bushler.
Judd Bushler will get credit for it. 8.5 seconds to go. And Orlando has defended at the Magic Kingdom here tonight with 5.5 seconds to go. Horace Grant has played his usual consistent big game. Horace Grant with 24 points and 11 rebounds tonight. In the second round, Horace has been averaging 19.5 points. So he's even above his average here in the second half.
You know, Chicago might have to change their thinking in Game 6, and if there is a Game 7, they have said, we're going to make Horace Grant beat us.
Yeah.
You know, right now he is. And they might have to think about that. They might have to change up some of the rotations defensively. Maybe make some other guys do some things out on the floor that they don't want to do. But Horace has been sensational.
Horace had a good line in today's paper. He said, this has been a series of adjustments, and the last big adjustment will probably win the series. 103-95 Orlando. Michael Jordan with 39 points. They weren't enough. Pippen and Kukoc combined 6 of 19, and between them could score only one field goal in the entire second half. Craig Sager with Horace Grant.
Well, Horace, you've granted Orlando's wishes. You made this team a title contender. How sweet is it to beat the Bulls?
Well, it's another victory. You know, it was a whole team effort, and you know that's what we need to win a championship.
Bill Jackson says we're going to make Horace Grant beat us. You're beating them. Does that bother you?
No, that doesn't bother me at all. You know, I'm gonna let Bill talk. I'm gonna play.
The team was down at half. Shaquille O'Neal was hurrying his shots. You're down by 7. What was the difference in that big third quarter?
I think that the difference, we came out and played very aggressive. We forced them to turn the ball over, and we hit some big shots.
You were booed last time in Chicago. Now you go back there with a chance to close out the season for the Bulls.
I'm expecting the boos a lot louder.
Horace Grant. Horace Grant, he was consistent throughout the game, but I think the two guys that turned the form in the second half were the two guys that are the best buddies, Shaq and Dennis Scott.
Well, certainly, and for Orlando, it's a great sign that their marquee player, Shaq, turns the game. And also a good performance in there by Penny Hardaway, who ran the floor, who ran the show in a consistent manner and kept them at an even keel.
Okay, let's see what the other games that happened last night look like. Indiana, New York 3-1. The Orlando Magic, we saw that with Chicago over in the Eastern Conference. And out west, they had two big ones last night, overtime games. San Antonio, 96. The Lakers, 98. Van Exel, 22 points. Sabalas, 20. David Robinson, 34. Dennis Rodman, 11 points and 15 rebounds in the loss. And the Phoenix, 97. Houston, 103. Another overtime games. There, the Houston Rockets saved themselves for another one back at the Summit. So for the teams down there, those games are in the West. The games are going back on the road, back to Houston, back to L.A. Do you think that these one of these teams has a possibility of being able to come back and win the series?
Well, funny enough, I looked at, there's 3 of these matchups were 3-1 coming out of this weekend, and you've got to figure that at least one of those 3 is going to go to the team that's down. I see Houston Phoenix going to 7.
All right, there's only been 4 teams in the history of the NBA to ever come back to win a series that were down 3-1. We flip over to New York. New York down 3-1 also in their series.
I'll tell you what, if New York wins Game 5, they've got a great shot at going and taking them in 7. Indiana needs to take care of this series quickly. One, obviously they want to win, but the second thing is if they're having an emotional 7-game roller coaster and then try and go into a conference final, that team will come out flat.
Okay, over the past week, they've named the NBA All-NBA team, and here it is. They named Hardaway from Orlando and Stockton at the guards, Robinson's in the middle, Malone and Scottie Pippen are the forwards. Is anybody on that you disagree with?
Well, me not being there was always
okay,
a problem.
Well, you know, we were going to get that one.
Well, okay, we'll vote for me, and I'll vote for you as Coach of the Year.
All right. Now, there's another one. They named the All-NBA defensive team, and they have Dikembe Mutombo is the Defensive Player of the Year, but he doesn't make first team All-NBA defense.
I figured it out.
it out. Okay, yeah, tell us what the deal is.
One-on-one, Dikembe Mutombo is the best defensive player. But in a team concept, I don't know, that one is crazy.
That
That's
baffles
crazy.
everybody. What do you think of the situation with the San Antonio Spurs? You have Dennis Rodman, who Coach Bob Hill sits out last game. They win, but they set Dennis out. Now Dennis is back in the lineup. What do you think of that?
I think that this was the wrong time to try to make a statement about who's the boss at San Antonio. We know Dennis is eccentric. Let's be happy that he's just, at the end of the bench, not getting into missing huddles for timeouts instead of being found outside the stadium with a loaded rifle at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm happy like this. You don't need to make that kind of a statement.
Okay, and there's other news that have come out this week. They've named the 1995 Rookie of the Year. There's been a tie. For the first time in 24 years, Grant Hill of Detroit tied Jason Kidd. Martin, I know we definitely disagree on this. You like Grant Hill, and Jason Kidd is definitely a favorite of mine.
I'm a Grant Hill fan all the way. If nothing else, not only his play on the court, but also his demeanor off the court. He's brought a gentlemanly conduct, which is much needed in the NBA.
Okay, so he brought that, but we're looking at Jason Kidd on the basketball floor. He brought 23 extra victories to Dallas over last season. He was 7th in the NBA in assists as a rookie, 9th in steals. He had 4 triple-doubles in the month of April. I like Grant Hill.
Well, you should be his agent or something.
Hey, maybe so. That's a good price of that agent there. There's just enough time to have a quick check to see what's coming up on Sky Sports. Our next game is at 11:30 next Wednesday night, and by then, a number of NBA teams left to chase this year's title will be reduced to 4. We will bring you Game 1 of the conference finals from the East or the West. And for the rest of the stories making headlines around the NBA, there's NBA action on Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. And that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the show. Keep it here on Sky Sports for all the best action. My thanks to our guest, Martin Henlin. And remember, for the best basketball in the world, it's the NBA.